want to overcome this fear of rejection. So we understand why it's better if you can ask for what you want in a way that helps others as well. Like people will be really on board for that. And so I just asked her, hey, since this isn't working, do you mind if I just get a free ice cream just like to make it up to me? And she said yes. And I was like, cool, can I get one for my friend too? And she said yes. The reason you ask for what you want is to, again, for a higher purpose, a higher mission, to serve others. You want to be able to ask for that raise. You want to be able to ask for the sale. You want to be able to ask to be hired, not being afraid of the end result. When you're asking for what you want, we want to overcome this fear of rejection. So we understand why it's better. We'll get what we need, we'll get what we want, and how to do it. You've got to develop your communication skills, your confidence. I really encourage you to develop sales skills. If you can learn how to sell, selling is really helping. If you can sell what people want, that's what you want, right? You're trying to help them reach their needs, right? So if you can ask for what you want in a way that helps others as well, like people will be really on board for that. So I really encourage you to read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. That is all about how to ask for what you want in a really nice way where people are receptive and excited about what you're asking for. So that's a cool thing. A lot of times in sales, they'll give you lots of money too. So fear of rejection, right? So let's tackle this really quick. Let's think about it. So everybody goes through this. So you are not going to skip this step. You're never going to just not be afraid to be rejected. At some point in your life you were, and you've either overcome it or you're still afraid of it. And so the fear of rejection is this idea that, oh my gosh, if I mess this up, it's going to haunt me, right? That's where it goes. The worst case scenario, the 0.0001% chance that the worst thing will happen and somebody will tell you no and they'll judge you or whatever. So, first off, you probably don't need to care about everyone's opinions, again, about your life. Like, it doesn't matter what most people think about you, right? Again, there's an extreme there too. What you want to realize is that, like, who cares? If you ask for what you want and someone says no, and nothing changed. You're still alive. You're still doing what you were doing. It doesn't matter. One time I was in San Diego for this trip and this key wasn't working. And like on this keyboard, I was trying to print something, this really, really nice hotel. And the key, it wouldn't print because the keyboard was malfunctioned. It was broken. My buddy Jacob was there and we were laughing because it wasn't working. I say, the lobby manager was there and I said, hey, this isn't working. I can't print my stuff. I really like ice cream and I wanted some ice cream. And so I just asked her, hey, since this isn't working, do you mind if I just get a free ice cream just like to make it up to me? And she said yes. And I was like, cool, can I get one for my friend too? And she said yes. And so we got a couple free ice creams just because we asked, just because it's like, oh, well, here's a reason. They obviously wanted to keep us happy, so we'll keep coming back to the hotel. So I just asked, I said, can we have free ice cream? And they said yes. And it's funny, if you do that at a bunch of places, people give you free stuff. Because they're like, just, oh, sure, you could have it. Like, no big deal at all, which is a funny thing. I had a mentor, his name Dave Brown. He's a really cool consultant at this company called Southwestern Consulting, and he can help you increase your sales, things like that. That's what that company does in a lot of ways. And he told a story, he's done some keynotes, and he just talked about in high school how, he'd have a principal come around and ask in the high senior class what everyone wants, and came to him and he wasn't really sure career-wise. And so he said, I really want your watch. And it's like a $10,000 or $30,000 watch or something. And the principal said, okay, you can have it. When you graduate, you can have it. And everyone was like having this running joke for like 9 months of like, are you going to get that watch? And, he goes across the graduation stage and shakes hands and, and he's walking off and the principal said, hey, wait a second, gives him the $30,000 watch or $10,000 watch, right? Just for asking what he wants. And he taught him that lesson. If you ask for what you want, again, the world's going to get out of your way. You will get what you want. And again, I don't think you ought to do it for just selfish reasons or anything like that. The reason you ask for what you want is to, again, for a higher purpose, a higher mission, to serve others. But you've got to get that habit now of doing it while you're young. So when you're older and there's a lot more pressure and there's a lot more fear, you're trying to do $1 million business deal, you're trying to, save someone's life, whatever it is, right, that you end up doing on whatever career, and there's more pressure and more nerves. You want to not have the fear to ask for what you want. You want to be able to ask for that raise. You want to be able to ask for the sale. You want to be able to ask to be hired. That is a big mistake people don't do. They don't ask to be hired. Hey, is there any reason you wouldn't hire me? Having the confidence to ask the question, not being afraid of the end result. If they don't hire you, it doesn't matter. I remember in college, I went and interviewed like 18 different student leadership positions. The first like 10, I was such a bad interviewer that I got rejected at all 10. But then I got like 3 or 4 that I was really, really into. And I was really thankful that I went through those 10 other interviews because then I learned what not to do, which sometimes is the way to do it. And I think the wiser way would have been to ask someone to mentor me. But I was pretty headstrong at that point and was just kind of going for it. So again, think about rejection. No one cares. They're not going to remember it. It's not the worst case scenario. The only bad thing happens, they say no and you keep asking or you keep moving on with your day and it doesn't change anything. And in fact, I love this because everyone does go through it. So we're going to watch a quick Mr. Beast video. I love Mr. Beast, watching his stuff, but let's watch this really quick on how he's literally gone through the exact same thing.
No, it is, because it's hard because I know like 99.99% of people listening don't really know my past and stuff like that. So they wouldn't be able to imagine it, but it's like, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm grinding YouTube every day, not getting anywhere. 17, 18, things start happening. 19, 20, I blow up. But it's like, I mean, there's so many times where I went to bed and I was just like, am I just wasting all my time? You know?
I love that video because it's true. If you go back and look at Mr. Beast, it's just like he was just trying his best. He really wanted to, he likes helping people. And so he would go and he would just grind on YouTube. He would put in lots of work. And it sounds like for the first 5 years, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, it took him 5 years to get any traction, right? And he just didn't give up. And now he is probably the most successful YouTube channel, on the planet. And it's a really interesting thing. And all of that failure taught him all the things to not do and what to do. And so now it's just muscle memory for him, to go and make really, really successful 100 million view videos, right? So going through that failure actually develops you into a better person, a more successful person, a better leader, someone who can relate with others better. Because once you've gone and messed up, you kind of just stop making fun of people because you start realizing that like, hey, maybe they're just in that process where you suck, right? And you probably didn't want to get made fun of when you were not good at something, right? So you stop doing that. You become a more well-rounded, mature person, a better leader, better influencer, as leadership is influence. You just become a more caring person when you're going through that failure. So I think that's an important perspective to have when you're doing this kind of stuff. All in all, guys, just like ask for what you want. Like, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. You'll meet some incredible people that way. You'll have some incredible stories. In fact, I'll leave you with this last story. When I was selling one summer, it was like summer 4 or 5 for me. There was this really cool business owner that I could never catch at his house. And one time he was home and his wife, girlfriend at the time, he had high school students. And so we had some ACT stuff that, would have been great. And they were interested in it like his wife was, but she's like, he makes the decision on this stuff. But he's bulldozing right now. I was like, oh, cool. And I've tried to catch him like 3 or 4 times. I said, well, can I just like go down there and like talk to him? And she said, sure. And so I jog down this hill to this guy's doing a bulldozer construction thing at his property. He's got this big, 10-ton bulldozer and I'm waving him down and I've got my sales materials with me. And he comes over and he stops and he doesn't even turn the thing off, right? He comes out, he's like, who are you? What are you doing? And I'm explaining what I'm doing, helping with the ACT and stuff, and mentioned how his wife wanted to look at it. And I basically just sold him with a smile, very politely asked, like, hey, listen, you're so hard to catch. If, I go show this to your wife and daughter and they're really into it, could you meet me up there in 10 minutes to see what their decision is? If they like it, great. If not, that's cool. Would that be fair? And he said, yes. And so I just asked for what I wanted, went up there, got him really excited about our ACT scholarship prep thing that we were selling. And then he comes up 10 minutes later and the wife and the daughter are really excited and like, yeah, we really need this. And he takes 3 minutes to look at it and then he hands me $500, And so again, asking for what you want. It's a really interesting experience. And especially if you're doing it for the value of others or helping people, it can get you into a lot of great places. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you enjoy the content, please comment below with questions. I can go into a lot of different things that you want to learn about. I would love to add some value to your life in leadership. I'm all about helping you develop different leadership skills to help you have limitless career opportunities when you graduate. So you can do whatever you want, whether that's become an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer, start your own business, be an entrepreneur, whatever it is. I would like to help you develop the leadership because leadership is going to be valuable. Leadership and communication skills are valuable no matter where you go. And that's what we're about here. If you are going to buy the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, or any of the other books that I recommend, please order them through the links in the description on this video. I do get a kickback and a commission that helps me pay for my YouTube channel and help me grow this business. Check out my fitness company if you're somebody who's into fitness, wants to get to the next level, wants to do competition shows, or is just really busy, doesn't know what they're doing. If you're anywhere on that spectrum, we can help you. Go to getstarted.elevatewellness.fit. That link's in the description as well if you would just like a free consultation to learn some more. So, okay, coming at you next week. Appreciate you guys.